Hello and welcome back to some highlights for once. It's been a while. I've had a lot of things been busy with, but yeah, I mean I haven't uploaded the last few AOR races partly because they've been absolutely terrible, except the one in Monaco where I qualified on pole and got second in the race. So that was good coming into this race, but as you can see on a first run in this qualifying, I crashed into the wall in the castle, so that's always good. You can see my second run in the background now, but yeah, I was fairly confident coming into this one, I guess. My best in qualifying just before this was a 36.8. I hadn't done massive amount of practice, to be honest, compared to like other previous races, but I still felt fairly good. As come to the end of the second lap now. It wasn't an amazing lap. It was not an awful lap either. It was just the average. We come across the line, it's a 37.3, which somehow puts us on provisional pole, but obviously there's no way that that was going to stay there, and indeed we're down in 6th now. So we really need to improve on this last run, and let's just see what we can do. We've got Sam Gamer on our inside, going to turn one, which slightly distracted me, but I mean, it wasn't your fault or anything, but look at that for a start of the lap. 1.5 times down, coming into the second corner. We gained a lot through there. That was a really nice run. Yeah, I mean, we've lost a tenth and a half already, so any sort of really good laps out the window, but we can still definitely gain time on what we've already had, as you can see. We're just carrying a lot more speed and a lot more precise through this first sector as we're gaining time hand over fist here. Nearly 2 temps up, so without that mistake, obviously that would be 3.5 temps up, which would be crazy, but really good first sector, 0.2, which is nearly on par with the best sort of first sectors. A little bit deep, if anything, into there. I didn't really want to use first gear, but I had to at that point. Going through the castle, 2.5 temps up now, and we did the same thing again. We hit the wall, but yeah, without hitting that wall, I'm pretty sure I would have done like a 37.1-ish, but what can you say? It's P8, unfortunately. It's going to be very difficult to obviously move forward from here, especially with the Olsen strap. But we're going to get straight into the race now, and let's see what happens from here. P8 on the grid. It's a fairly average start as we go into turn 1. I forgot to mention there's a lot of new drivers on the grid to fill it up to try and keep AOR living. But yeah, it's a decent-ish start. I mean, we just kept the same position. We're trying to see if we can gain anything up the inside of Aero, who gets put into the wall by Sam Gamer. And we're going to try and take opportunity of that, and we're going to go 3 wide. We'll have the inside for this left, so he should be okay. But actually we get slightly swiped there from Sound Gamer. I think he made contact with Aero, which was not ideal. And you won't be able to hear him, but Jeff just told me I've got damage, which was really nice to see. So we've got like the light greeny, yellowy damage on the right hand side, which at this point I was pretty sure my race was sort of finished. I was going to drop off the soft runners at the start and then have to change the wing and then do really slow as we completely butcher that corner and get our first track limits warning. But yeah, it was just trying as much as I can to sort of stay focused as much as I could. Obviously I didn't want to, well, my race has already sort of ruined itself, but we skip on to lap 2, and surprisingly I could stick with this front trainer. The pace wasn't too bad as we go really deep with the loss of downforce, but yeah, the pace wasn't awful. I mean, I think the leader's pace was quite average at this point, so I could definitely stick with. We've got virtual safety car now on lap 5. Now the pit, when you want to pit, is lap 5 or 6, and Speedster, obviously, who's my sort of reserve teammate in this race, is ahead of me. So I thought, you know, I've got to obviously pit lap 5 if he doesn't, so because he'll pit 6. So as you can see on the minimap, Speedster just goes straight, carries on. So we're going to pit on lap 5, which is slightly early. Wasn't going to bother changing the wing because I wasn't really losing any time, and I'd just lose so much time if I changed the wing. But we're going to the pits now, and the game decides to change the front wing anyway. So I forgot to put it to no, and I'd assumed it would just leave it, but it didn't, which is not great because now we are literally going to be the last soft runner. Which means we're going to get attacked by the alt runners first, and I was pretty sure I was going to get like P9, P10 out of this. But, you know, you don't give up, and what's the gap to Dommy, who was in the train in front of us ahead? I mean, I think service pit a bit earlier, but Dommy is 5 seconds, so that's the gap we've got to make up on, obviously, the lead trains. That's going to be quite difficult. We skip all the way to lap 10, and we get onto the back of some of the people at the very back of the train. I think there was a bit of battling going on, so we did manage to to catch up slightly. We had quite good pace though, 41.9. I think that's very good. But behind these guys, we managed to save a lot of ERS, and there was no way anyone was getting past. So I thought I'd just save it all, and I absolutely blitzed it down the straight. But as you see ahead, I think everyone else had the same idea, as they're both going to go up the inside of this Renault. We're going to take opportunity from this as well. I think the Renault had damage, so just sort of let everyone pass. But so that's a position gain, P11 now, and we've got to try and get these two up ahead. And I think the Mercedes now is going to pass Aero, who I believe did have damage as he goes to the inside now, and does make that move. So we've got to get past Aero. As what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know if you saw the Renault. I think he outbraked himself there and just went straight up the inside and lost his wheel. So that was clever. But Aero lets us through here, which is nice. I think, yeah, as I said, he had damage, so he didn't bother fighting it too much. You probably noticed as well, Blizzard banning P12. He had a bit of an incident with Speedster, I think, who was at the front. So his race has been completely ruined. He lost his front wing. And so now we're clear of Aero, and now we're going to overtake Petrux, another new driver, for P7. But as you notice behind, we've got BDG Gil, who is on the alt strat. So we passed one, but we're definitely going to get passed straight back down this next straight. But we're obviously not going to fight because he's on the mediums and he's going to be so much quicker. But you'll see the gap up front. Again, it's still about 4.2 seconds. So I was pretty sure that we've got Dario behind as well, who's also on the medium. So P8 was pretty much where I was going to be set for as we go to the next frame, and I'm pretty sure this is when Dario goes to. Indeed he does. So it's gained a few positions and lost a few positions. So we're back down to P7 as someone else, I think the Ferrari pits. So P7 it is then. But as you can see, we're coming through the castle now, and Dario's rear tyres just decide they don't want to be there anymore. So that's great from the game. And we gain a position, so that's P6, which is good. You see the gap in front has gone down to 3.4 seconds, so we are catching Lee Finley and the front running train, and it skips to like 21. I think it was a mixture of them battling and us having really good pace, but we did catch this train, and you can see Gil goes at the inside of Lee Finley, completely puts him in the wall, and that's a free position for us. So P5 now, which I was quite amazed at considering the race we've had. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. We're just going to keep pushing and see, with a track like this, it's obviously quite likely there's going to be crashes. And Gil passes Liam now. I think Liam might have damage as well, because he was quite a lot slower than us at this stage. And believe it or not, we're going to make another move now down the start-finish straight, up into P4 out of all of this. I'm not sure. Yeah, at the time I was not sure what was going on, how we're in P4, but we seem to be sort of following Gil through, which is really nice to see. We've only got actually Dommy and Speedster in front that was on the original strategy that we was on, considering we started P8 and had wing damage. But lap 24 now, Gil goes through on Dommy, and Lee Finley just decides he wants to go up the inside here, and we're side by side now. Hopefully, indeed he does back out before we go through the castle, so we are safe. But yeah, Dommy next up ahead, who's been passed by Gil and gapped out of the DRS. And on the next straight, we line him up nicely and we overtake him at the inside. So we're going to be into P3 now. Again, I'm not sure if everyone just had damage or we just had really good pace, but at this stage, could not believe what was happening. And now all that we've got ahead of us is the two leaders. And if they battle, we've got a really good chance of getting into the lead fight now. On to the last lap. Gil goes up the inside of Speedster on the medium tyres to take the lead, and I was pretty sure that was going to be it. But as you'll see down here, Speedster has complete other ideas, as he really wants to take the win, obviously. Doesn't want the alt strat, and I think he goes up the inside here, and indeed they're side by side, and he locks up, and Gil goes into the wall, and so does Speedster. We're going to take the inside at that corner, and get past Gil into P2. It's now a Red Bull 1-2. And I knew Speedster had damage here, so all I needed to do was sit behind and see if we can get by on the start-finish straight, or even before. But we obviously not going to take any crazy risks at this point. As long as we can get a good exit, I think we can get him down the start-finish, but we just need to make sure, as he's going really slow on this last lap, that we save as much EOS as possible so we can mount an attack. But another important thing to note, which you'll realise at the end of the race, is the gaps to the cars behind us. Because Speedster was driving so slow, everyone sort of closed up, which was not ideal. But anyway, coming into the last sector now, trying to get a really nice run through the final corner. We get really close, and it's a decent enough exit for what we need, straight into overtake mode. What can we do? Can we get past Speedster down the straight, or is Gil even on his mediums and he's right up behind us, going to get us both? We're going to pull to the inside, and you can see Speedster's rear light flashing. We're going to pull to the inside, and we are going to make it through, and we're going to somehow win the race on track. But unfortunately, we did have a 3-second time penalty, which completely ruined that one. So it's P4 on track, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, because of speed was so slow at the end, the guys behind caught the gap. But otherwise, I think we could have definitely had a podium. But yeah, without obviously the stupid penalty. I mean, you shouldn't get a penalty at this track, but with the damage and everything, I was driving quite badly. But yeah, I mean, I was really happy with it actually. I know it's only P4 and I could have won, but the pace was really good, and I seemed to stay out of trouble and make the moves when I needed to. So yeah, really happy with that one, and I thought I'd upload it because obviously it's a bit more exciting than some of the last races I've had. So next up will be Canada, which again I'm expecting to be absolute carnage, but we'll see what happens then. And we'll see, hopefully I should start uploading the races a bit more now, so if anyone's actually interested. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one, and I will see you next time.